Hey now, hey now, hey now. What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and how do I do this? How do I talk about and review the greatest movie of all time, at least in my opinion? Obviously, I am talking about The Dark Knight. This movie came out in 2008. It is once again directed by Christopher Nolan. And the plot is, we see that it's been like a year and a half since Batman Begins, where Batman is almost unstoppable in Gotham. He has successfully made criminals scared of him until the Joker arrives. This guy that nobody really knows about. In fact, people are taking him lightly at first until he creates chaos, until he creates panic, until he turns the city upside down, and it's all to get at Batman. Come on. Come on. This movie, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. I'm going to spend the next who knows how many minutes just gushing over this movie, geeking out over this movie.
And here we go.
You have Christian Bale back again as Bruce Wayne Batman, and I know that people, when they think about The Dark Knight, they think about one performance. They think about one actor, one character, and I get it. I too, that's the first thing I think of, but let's not sleep on Christian Bale. I think he does a great job once again here. I love that you see Batman. This is the first Nolan movie where Batman is at his prime. If he's capable, he knows that he's getting to all of these criminals. He knows that he's cleaning up the streets. You see criminals who are afraid to go out when they see the bat signal. Like, that's the point. That's what he wanted. And you even see him clean up and capture Scarecrow. Great cameo.
I have one rule. Oh, then that's the rule you'll have to break to know the truth.
Heath Ledger, talk about the performance of a lifetime. Talk about the performance that everybody goes to, everybody references when you talk about this all-time great villain. I remember when he was initially cast and everybody lost their minds. And nobody thought that the guy from Brokeback Mountain, the guy from A Knight's Tale, the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You could ever be the Joker. They thought it was a joke. And then that first image was released where you saw the face paint, you saw the scars, and you really understood the direction they were going with this character in this movie. And also that teaser trailer. The teaser trailer to this movie doesn't even show one image from the film. You just hear sounds and audios and dialogue, and you hear the Joker's voice for the first time.
Why so serious?
That's when everybody shut the hell up. And that's when everybody knew that this was going to be something special. And he did deliver in that. Just everything that Ledger does with his performance and how different he is. You don't recognize him. He doesn't look like him. He doesn't sound like him. He has all these weird mannerisms that he picked up. It's pure perfection. It's something that I don't think we'll ever see again. It's been said before, but I truly don't think we'll ever see a performance greater than this, better than this. There's so much about the writing with the Joker that I think works. His scenes where he's talking about his scars. The first time he does it, and he tells the story about his father and what happened, you sit there and go, okay, that's his backstory. That's it. And then later on, he's talking to Rachel, and he gives a completely different backstory about him and his wife and the mob, and you're like, okay, I see what he's doing here, and it's genius. It's brilliant. My favorite scene in this movie, and it's hard when I love this movie as much as I do, when I rewatch this movie over and over again as much as I do, it's hard to pick just one scene. But ever since I first saw it in the theater, my favorite scene was the interrogation scene.
Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you.
Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent. I love Harvey Dent in this movie. Aaron Eckhart is another actor who gets overlooked and underappreciated, underrated for his performance here because he's great. He's this district attorney who wants to do good. He wants to help clean up Gotham. He's Gotham's white knight, and he wants to just end corruption. He has a partial love triangle, I guess you can call it, with Rachel Dawes, who this time is played by Maggie Gyllenhaal, who's taking over for Katie Holmes. And Maggie Gyllenhaal, I don't want to compare actresses. I don't want to say who's better than the other and whatnot, because Maggie Gyllenhaal is a very different Rachel than before. I think she's a little bit more confident. She's a little bit more spunky, and I like her. I do. She's different, but I like her. And I like the moments that she has with Harvey because you believe the two of them together. But I also like her scenes with Bruce. I don't feel like she's playing the both of them. And she does care for Bruce, but she's also moving on with her life. Now, the explosion that kills Rachel, I was shocked. I could not believe they killed Rachel, this character that we spent all that time with in the first movie, and she just dies. And not only what that does to Batman, but what it does to Harvey Dent. He too gets half of his face blown to hell, and this is it. This is the Harvey Two-Face that I've been wanting to see. I love that they built it up. I love that they made Harvey Dent a character before they ever really hinted that he might become Two-Face. And seeing him as Two-Face, the special effect of half of his face being blown off and the big eye and the like, it looks perfect.
No, you're not.
Still, after all of these years, I can watch it and say, yeah, that's flawless. That's amazing, because Nolan doesn't overly use CGI. He's never done that. He's never thrown a bunch of CGI at the screen just because you can do it. No, he, like 98% of the time, is using all practical effects, and then he throws in, sprinkles in CGI to enhance it. I think that's what really made the Two-Face effect work. And I love his shift in anger. I love when he just snaps and he's hell-bent on revenge. He goes after Gordon and his family.
It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair!
He's pretty much going after everybody that he blames for what happened. James Gordon, Lieutenant Jim Gordon now, played by Gary Oldman once again. He's great in the film. I love that he has that partnership with Batman, but there's even moments when the two of them come at it. Gordon is so just, he wants to help Harvey. He wants to save him. Michael Caine as Alfred, he's great. He's great. He's great. I love the moments when Alfred is giving his speeches.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
At the end of the movie, where he decides, he makes the choice to burn Rachel's letter. The letter where Rachel basically said she's leaving Bruce, or not even going to pursue that, to be with Harvey. And it's one of those situations where you have a character who does care for Bruce and does want to protect him and doesn't want to hurt him any more than he does. There's a lot of choices in this movie that reflect that. There's a lot of choices that aren't just flat out good or bad. There's a gray area in a lot of these characters. The Bat Pod, and I love the Bat Pod. I think it's really cool and slick, the way how Batman looks when he's running around it. I remember there was talk of maybe them not keeping the cape on Batman while he drove it because they were afraid it might get stuck in the wheels, but no, they tried it, and the cape looks awesome when Batman's driving and the cape's flopping around in the wind. It's just, it's so cool. The couple scenes in this movie that are shot in IMAX are gorgeous. Like, obviously, the beginning of the movie, the bank robbery scene, or the part where Joker and Batman come head to head.
Come on, I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Come on, hit me. Come on, hit me. Come on, hit me. Ah! Hit me.
All of those scenes are amazing. They're great for everything, but seeing them shot in IMAX and on the big, even TV, looks great. My only issue is that I wish more of the movie was shot in IMAX. I wish more of the movie had that big globe feel to it. Like the scene where Batman has to go to Hong Kong to capture Lau and bring him back. Like, all of that just blows my mind. I could sit there and rewatch scenes like that over and over again because they're great. And the IMAX quality to them. The Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard score. I didn't talk about it in Batman Begins, but I should have, because this new Batman theme in particular, it grew on me. It was one of those things where I had to get used to not hearing the old themes that I'm accustomed to and that I grew up with. But once I got around to it, once I got used to this score, now I love it. Now it's just, I can't think of this Batman having any other type of score. It works, but the score that they came up with for the Joker, it's haunting, It's eerie, it's chilling, it's something that is so subtle with that noise that's getting louder and louder, and it's almost like they use so little to create so much, and it's so memorable. When you hear that, you think of the Joker. Speaking of the Joker, the end of the movie where he has this plan where he has the two fairies and he's threatening to blow them up if they don't blow each other up. They have the detonators, and you don't really know what he has planned. Like, what if they blow the other fairy up? But really, he's proving a point, and if they had done it, would they have blown themselves up? And it's just, it's another one of his crazy antics. It's another one of his crazy minds. And sure, when Batman goes in there and stops him and proves him wrong that the people did not try to kill each other, did he prove him wrong? Because maybe, but the part where Batman tosses him off the ledge and Joker's laughing as he's falling because he would rather die to prove that Batman would kill. He would rather die so that he would prove Batman wrong and say that he killed him. Of course, Batman doesn't kill him. He does save him and rope him up. And while he's hanging upside down, the Joker goes through that speech.
What did you do?
I took Gotham's White Knight, and I brought him down to our level.
I love it. I love that speech. There's so many speeches that the Joker gives where it's just as you think that you might have him. Even earlier in the movie where they captured him and you thought maybe they got one up on him, and it's like, no, he's still 10 steps ahead. He still knows everything, or at least has plan Bs planned out for him. And that's where you get Two-Face. Two-Face is, it's like the back end, the back maybe 15-20 minutes is about him. Some people are upset that he dies the way that he does, that he doesn't, like Two-Face the character isn't around as long as maybe they had liked. And I get it, some people say it's the Venom syndrome all over again, but look, this world is so realistic, is so gritty, that how long would a guy with half of his face blown off, how long would he realistically last anyways? But even forget all that, there's not a lot for at least this movie to take Harvey Dent. There's not a lot more for him to do but try to get revenge or go after the people that he blamed for Rachel's death. It's an interesting take on Two-Face. It's a different take on Two-Face. I enjoyed. I think it worked. I think it was more important to set Harvey Dent up and to really make us love this character when he was good, to make it more impactful and make it hurt more once he did go to the dark side, once he did start being Two-Face. The decision that Batman makes.
I killed those people. That's what I can be. No, you can't. You're not. I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be.
Like, that's such a great ending. It's such a great speech. This is why this movie works. This is why this movie is my favorite comic book movie, is my favorite superhero movie, is my favorite Batman movie. To this day, as grand as some of these movies can get, as spectacular and as so much action can happen in some of these movies, I don't think we'll ever get a story quite like this. I don't think we'll get this much care and attention to characters and story arcs as we do in this movie. There's a reason why Heath Ledger won the Oscar. It sucks that he wasn't alive to see it, but he deserved it. I can't gush enough over this film and how much I love it. I love it so much! So guys, excuse me as I'm done. I'm done talking about my love for this movie. I can go on and on for days and days, clearly. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the movie? And if you do love it, let me know why. Why do you love this movie? What's your favorite thing about it? Your favorite scene, your favorite moment, your favorite character, whatever. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.